Oh, Om. Om. ॐ गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अभ्यस्तिरोधा जायत तव वैश्रवणः सदा तिरोधेहि सपत्नान्नः ये अपोषन्ति केचन त्वाष्ट्रीं मायां वै श्रवणः रथगुं सहस्रवन्धुरम् पुरुश्चक्रगुं सहस्राश्वम् आस्थायाहिनो बलिम् यस्मै भूतानि बलिमावहन्ति धनं गावो हस्तिरन्यमश्वान् आसामसुमतौ यज्ञियस्य श्रियं बिभ्रतोन्नमुखीयो विराजम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः offering our collective love at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri 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 Satya Sai Baba Varu on this auspicious Swarajya Dinotsavam, entering the 80th, and to be able to live up to the name called Bharatiya, not Indian. The stupid name India has no relevance at all to spirituality. Bharatiya is again not somebody who lives in this geography called India. Bharatiya, as Bhagavan defines, is the one who has unconditional love for wisdom and effulgence. The one who constantly strives to be dependent on the indweller, that person is independent. That space is independent. Independence doesn't mean do whatever you want to do and get away with it. The sole purpose of knowledge is to become free, free from the shackles of all the things that bind you. When you get released from these shackles, then you become dependent on the indweller, and you will always get tutored from this indweller. Therefore, you have intuition. You might have heard me say this before, like a broken record. I'll keep repeating because only after listening to 15,000 times, then finally one day the light bulb, oh, this is what it means. Ah, okay, now I got it. Because light bulbs are there, no? They'll take a lot of time to get illumined. The thing will be clickering, 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 and then you have to rotate some charger there, some inverter, converter, whatever, and then after many, many, many times, the bulb will, oh, that is what he was saying. After understanding that, then there is a lot more time required to become independent in awareness. May we all be together. May we all be nourished together. May we all work together with great vigor. May our studies illumine our intellects. May we not conflict or contradict with each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om. Shalom, Sai Ram. Namaste. This beautiful mantra that we are studying in now 31st Anuvakam of Aruna Prishna. Adhyastirodha jayata tava vaishravana sada tirodhehi sapatnannaha ye aposhnanti kechana. Whatever is within us is concealed, the power of concealment. And that concealment, once you break that concealment, then you will discover the actual inner wealth. And this is very much related to the independence that we are talking about. Swarajya. Swarajya. Ya means that. Raj means shines. Swa, within yourself. Swarajya doesn't mean some kingdom. See how you understand these words, how beautiful they are. Every word conveys something to do with yourself. Something that you can relate to and say, this applies to me. Do I let my inner self shine always? In order for that inner self to shine forth, then you have to remove all the concealments that are blocking that inner light to shine forth. Adhyastirodha jayata tava vaishravana sada tirodhehi sapatnanaha. So, completely vanquish the enemies that are blocking this inner light to shine forth from this slavery to these senses. When you break out of the slavery to your mind and senses, then you become independent. 80 years after so-called independence, the mentality of slavery is still embedded so deeply in the minds of so-called Bharatiyas. They still want to continue to live like slaves, because for 250, 300 years, this slavery is so imposed upon the mind that the mind cannot break the shackles of slavery. It is concealed by the senses. It is concealed by brainwashing. Lot of it is self-imposed. And how can in 15 years of 80 years that you can break the shackles of almost 250, 300 years of slavery? Not that I'm not talking about some independent country of India. From many lives you have become slave to your senses, and you keep coming and going because of the slavery to the senses, until you wake up and say, Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapravaran Nibodhata. Until you arise and awake and you say, hey, this is not who I am. I am Swaraj. I am the one who shines forth in my inner self. Then what will happen to you? Tvashtri Mayam Vaishravanaha Rathagum Sahasrabandhuram Purushchakragum Sahasraksham Asthaya Hino Balim. You are thinking I'm talking independence. I'm explaining meaning of Aruna Prishna mantras. This is what is called presence in awareness. Vaishravana. Once you become this independent person, this Vaishravana shines forth with supreme wealth, and then you will suddenly discover that, oh my God, there is a magical chariot in which I am sitting. This magical chariot, Rathagum Sahasravandhuram, Purush Chakragum Sahasrashvam, Asthaya Yahino Balim. You will use this wonderful creation, what is called your body, as this incredible chariot enabled with so many different powers. And then you begin to ride your body like a chariot, and you come forth like this Vaishravana. Esmai Bhutani Balima Vahanti. Did I explain all this already? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, yes. I remember saying, Tamma Vahajata Vedo Lakshmi Manapagamini Yashyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamashvam Purushanaham. I think I explained all of that in the context of Shravana Masam coming, and then the second Ruk in Sri Suktam, what it meant. Yes. Then the next mantra comes, another beautiful set of mantra about where this Vaishravana is located. Sudarshane Chakraunche Cha.
Sudarshane Chakraunche Cha. Sudarshane Chakraunche Cha.
Mainage Cha Mahagirau.
Mainage Cha Mahagirau. Mainage Cha Mahagirau.
Shatadvattaragamanta
शतद्वाट्टरतगमन्त शतद्वाट्टरगमन्त मन्ता
One more time.
शतद्वाट्टरगमन्ता
Sagumharyannagarastava.
Uncle, in here it says Nagaran Tava.
Nagarantava, not stava, sorry. Satadvat, okay, one second. Sagumharyannagarantava.
Sagumharyan Tava. Sagumharyan Tava.
Om Sudarshane Chakraunche Cha
Sudarshane Chakran
Om, you have to always start with Om, otherwise you wouldn't know what your base is.
Om Sudarshane Chakran Checha Sudarshane Chakran Checha.
Sairam, unless you repeat after me, you will not get these mantras. You are not here to Purana Kalakshepam, listening to some Purana Kalakshepam. You have to chant along. You have to 100% chant along. This is a class. It is not Purana Kalakshepam. Listen, something feels good, and then you go do whatever nonsense you are regularly used to doing. That's not the purpose of this. If you are not interested in chanting and learning, go do something else. It's not time pass. So you have to chant along. Sudarshane Chakram. One more time. Please chant along with him. Om Sudarshane Chakraunche Cha
Sudarshane Chakran Checha Sudarshane Chakran Checha
Mainage Cha Mahagirau
Mainage Cha Mahagirau Mainage Cha Mahagirau
Shatadvattaragamantam
Shatadvattaragamanta.
More emphasis on ta. More holding on ta.
Shatadvattaragamanta.
Sagumharyannagarantava
Sagumharyannagarantava Sagumharyannagarantava
Sudarshane Chakraunche Cha Mainage Cha Mahagirau Shatadvattaragamanta Sagumharyannagarantava
Sudarshane Chakran Checha My Oh no. Sorry. Did I lose? Okay, sorry. Om Sudarshane Chakran Checha Mainage Cha Mahagirau Shatadvat Satadvattaraghamanta Sagumharyannagarantava.
So this mantra is now continues to extol the glory of Vaishravana from a literal point of view, saying that his place of residence, this beautiful Nagara that is being described, the city, is located on 3 mountain peaks. Sudarshana, Krauncha, Mainaka, Mahagirau, supreme summits or peaks on which this Satat Vattaragamanta Samharyan Nagarantava. This Shatadvattaragamanta. Shata means hundreds. Dvattaragamanta. This is actually, see in this, how to describe this. For example, these great walls are constructed. It's almost like a movie scene, how they show in Bahubali and all of that stuff. How the city is protected by a huge wall, like the China Great Wall. And every certain number of feet, there will be a place where they can launch all the missiles and everything. It will be like a, what, I don't know what they call it in English. But anyway, such places, it is not only on the peak of the mountain, but it is surrounded by these hundreds of places where they have these magnificent, what are called watchtowers. Watchtowers. Shatadvattaragamanta. They're called watchtowers. We'll have these people located, checking out who, if somebody is coming to attack the fort. And that's the place from which also all the missiles are launched. Sudarshana, Krauncha, Mainaka. These are the 3 great peaks. And this city of Samharyam, the city is not fixed in Samharyam, means it can be withdrawn, it can be manifested. See, I mean, no movie guys can actually depict this kind of imagery. Impossible. You can only imagine with your mind. It cannot be projected into some kind of this is a Samharya, means which can be withdrawn and then re-manifested. It can be contracted, it can be expanded, it can be gathered at will, Samharyam. The 3 majestic peaks having these hundreds of watchtowers located on 3 mountain peaks. What is all this mean? Again, all of this is Swarajya. This is your own kingdom within. Sudarshana is Darshana, means vision. Sudarshana means perfect vision. And Krauncha. Krauncha is, what does Krauncha mean? Krauncha means peacock. That is the vehicle of Subramanya. And Mainaka. Who knows Mainaka? Does anybody in this forum know who Mainaka is?
It's a Mount Mainaka Parvatam.
Mainaka Parvatam cheppinde kada. I already said mountain Mainaka. How does anybody know the significance of it?
In Sundarakanda, he comes to what you call give shelter to Hanuman when he's flying from over to the Lanka. That is one of the stories.
You reached the zip code, but you have not come to the doorstep. At least you remember this is mentioned in Sundarakanda. That is good. At least the mind is focused on something. Mainaka. Any Sundarakanda experts that can tell what this Mainaka is about? What he said is true. Mainaka is the one that pops up from the ocean and requests Hanuman, sir, please stop for a few minutes, have some cup of tea and some biscuits. You seem to be a little bit tired. Can you please stop here? Take some rest and then continue with your journey. That's what Mainaka has asked him. If it was you and I going on Swami's work, we'll say, yes, sir, thank you very much. Which part of the mountain should we sit down and have some relaxing tea and biscuits? And then we forget Swami's work and then we indulge. We indulge. Hanuman did not do that. Hanuman said, I am going on the work of my master. I have no time for retreats and they call it retreats, go to some mountain top and have some nice tea. Retreat. Spiritual retreat. In spirituality, there is no bloody retreat. Spirituality is complete attention and focus on the purpose and the pursuit of why you got this birth. So in spiritual people do not take what is called a rest. They are always in arrest. They are arrested in the master divine mission. So Hanuman is like that. So intensely focused on the work of the master that he doesn't get distracted. The Sundarakanda describes how to live a life. How to live a life of pursuit and purpose focused totally on the mission of the master. That's what Sundarakanda is about. Sundarakanda, they'll tell you, oh, you do Sundarakanda Parayana, then you will achieve everything. No. By doing Parayana, you don't achieve anything. By practicing what is in Sundarakanda, you will achieve that. Pustakam these bada slokas. If you read the shlokas, you will only be in shoka because you don't understand a single shloka, what is saying that. This is a beautiful experience that this body has. I don't remember how long ago. I never read Sundarakanda Parayana. I never did any Sundarakanda Parayana at that point of time. By the way, why it is even called Sundarakanda? Oh, if I get into that, okay. Sorry, let's come back to Mainaka. If I get into Sundarakanda, I'll get lost in that some other time. So this Mainaka, at one point of time, all the mountains used to have wings so that the mountains could fly from one place to another place. And they were creating disaster in the world. Can you think about flying mountains? They're very happy about flying pigs. But what about flying mountains? Mountains flying. And they used to launch in every place that they want, creating havoc. So Indra went and started chopping off all the mountains' wings so that they don't move and they're at one place. One fellow by name Mainaka was saved by the Lord of Wind, Vayudeva. And then what he did was he created so much wind force that this Mainaka went and fell into this ocean. And then he hid there and he told you, stay here, don't come out, otherwise your wings will be chopped. This is also a spiritual lesson. Sairam, please listen to this carefully. Don't look at this as some story applied to some one guy. As you gather the weight of momentum of who you are with your power, with your position, with all the wealth and everything, you become one of these deadly mountains that flies from one place to another and fall on each and everyone and destroy them like a bull in the china shop. God will come and chop your wings off. And this prana shakti within you protects that and makes you humble and say, hey, even if you have this power, go deep inside in devotion, into the ocean of devotion. Hide there. Don't come out and fly and destroy everybody. That is the significance of the story. So humility becomes the greatest virtue of the most supreme powerful. And the supreme powerful are always humble. They don't display. They keep all of their wealth within themselves and protect it from irsya, asuya, dvesha. See how many people feel jealous of you? How many people, once you become popular, how many people will feel jealous of you? And they want to keep, throwing stones at you. How do they do that? This is very important. Irsha, asuya, we discussed this previous mantra. Jealousy is one thing. There is another thing called, I don't know what's the translation of that in asuya is what is, anyway, what they do, they will take even good thing that you say and they will transform it to make it look bad and say, see, he said that like that. No, what he actually means is not that. What he actually means is this. And therefore what you say, oh, I did not notice that. You are very intelligent to notice and twist the fact to your convenience. This story of Mainaka coming back. And so this Mainaka became humble. He went inside the ocean and then he saw this incredible, like Garutman, the Garuda coming, Maha Bali, this Hanuman was flying over him. Then he said, what a great darshan of the son of my friend Vayu. The Vayu Putra is coming. I have to pay my gratitude to this Vayu Putra, at least to invite him and take my atidhyam. And that was the story of Mainaka. So, Sudarshanecha, Kraunchecha, Mainakecha, Mahagirau. This Mahagirau, I don't know, Sairam, if I keep telling like this when I will complete Aruna Prishna. Mahagirau, literal interpretation is, what is the literal interpretation of Mahagirau? Great mountain. Gira. I explained the meaning of the word Gira, right? In one of the Anuvakas, Garagirau. Okay. Mahagirau are the great statements. Now I'm giving the inner meaning of it. What to do with these mantras for yourself, not just indulging in the stories of Puranas and become entertained by them. The moment you look at these words, Sudarshana, great vision, Krauncha. What does this Krauncha do? The Krauncha is the one, have you heard a Krauncha make a shriek? Krauncha. Krauncha is peacock. If you go to Ramanashram in Arunachalam, Tiruvannamalai, you will see so many peacocks sitting on those trees, and they start making these shrieks, and you can hear from far away. Mahagirau means Veda Ghosha. Thus, that incredible supreme aspect about the clarion call of the divinity. By the way, last week after we went through that previous mantra, Bhagavan gave the 4 Purusharthas a beautiful quote the next day about follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end, finish the game as the 4 Purusharthas. If you want, you can go check out. When was that? I think last Monday after the class. Bhagavan's thought for the day was that. So this Krauncha is that, and Mainaka I already explained. Submerging yourself in deep consciousness and going, taking these Mahavakyas, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Ayamatma Brahma. These are Mahagirau. Take those Mahagiras to have supreme vision, Sudarshana, Krauncha, carrying them with clarion call, Mainaka, get deeply submerged in supreme consciousness. See, I'm interpreting these mantras not with a hallucination. We are taking the same words and trying to go into the deeper meaning of the word and just the literal meaning of the word. You should always have that metric, otherwise you will be hallucinating. In describing everything, we are never focused away from the literal meaning. That's the literal meaning carries what is going on. Okay. This is the 4 August 10th. When was the last class?
9th, August 9th.
9th. Yeah. So exactly. Right after the class, Bhagavan posted this thought for the day in Prashant Nilayam. How they are related to the 4 Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So August 10th, thought for the day. So in the context of what we are looking at, Sudarshanecha, Kraunchecha, Mainakecha, Mainagecha, Mainaka, Mainaga, Shatadvattaragamanta, Samharyannagarantava. Shatadvattaragamanta means now from this every pore of your body is like a watch. A watch means it's like a watchtower, not just the 9. Every pore of your body becomes a watchtower. Watchtower in the context of when you listen to the name of the God, is it just the eyes that comes the tears through? The moment you listen to that, you get goosebumps. Entire body's pores will stand up like watchtowers. Oh, this God's name has come. How beautiful it is. And there will be goosebumps. Samharyan Nagarantava. And this incredible Swarajya that you have, it is withdrawn, it is brought forth, it is withdrawn, it is brought forth at your will, and you are in control of that independent. Iti mantrah kalpokta urdhvam.
Iti mantraha kalpota urdhvam. Iti mantraha kalpota urdhvam.
Iti mantra aha kalpota urdhvam.
Iti mantra aha kalpota urdhvam. Iti mantra aha kalpota urdhvam.
Iti mantra means there closes the extolation of Vaishravana, Kubera, and his glory. Kalpa uta urdhamam. That means from here on, here ends the mantras. From here onward, the kalpa. Kalpa means ritual. From here, the Vaishravana Yajna procedure begins. See how beautiful. See, they won't just give these mantras and say, now go, you are a spiritual person, and therefore now don't do any of the other stuff. No more ritual. Focus on the spirit. Nothing like that. Spirit and ritual integrated all the time. All the time. In the word spiritual, 9 letters, 6 out of 9 letters are ritual. Only 3 are outside of ritual. And those are, what are those 3? Chapda, Hare Cholda.
SPI.
SPI. What is SPI? Superintendent Police Inspector. Superintendent Police Inspector. SPI, S, self, P, propulsion, I, beyond the ego I. That is what spirituality should do. How does it happen? Only through ritual. So don't listen to all this misplaced interpretation of what the word spiritual is. Ritual, spirit. You might be tired of listening to me saying about this, how beautiful Bhagavan gave the explanation of self-propulsion beyond the ego I through rigorous introspection, transformation that results in understanding, awareness, and living the values. SPIRITUAL. Write this down and always ask the question, is the ritual bringing you to destruction of the ego and expansion of the I beyond identification with the body and the mind without any identity associated with it? So, iti mantra, that is the mantra. What to do as ritual is described next. Yadi baligum haret.
Yadi baligum haret. Yadi baligum haret.
Hiranyanaabhaye vitudaye kauberayan balihi.
Hiranyanaabhaye vitudaye kauberayayam balihi. Hiranyanaabhaye vitudaye kauberayayam balihi.
Sarvabhutadhipataye nama. Sarvabhutadhipataye nama. Iti. Sarvabhutadhipataye nama. Iti.
Sarvabhutadhipataye nama iti. Sarvabhutadhipataye nama iti.
Atha baligum hrutvopatishteta.
Atha baligum hrutvopatishteta. Atha baligum hrutvopatishteta.
Yadi baligum haret. Om. Start with Om.
Om. Yadi baligum haret. Yadi baligum haret.
Hiranyanaabhaye vitudaye kauberayayam balihi.
Hiranyanaabhaye vitudaye.
Sairam. Out of tune. Om Hiranyanaabhaye vitudaye. Just chant.
हिरण्यनाभये वितुदये कौबेराजायं बलिः ॐ हिरण्यनाभये वितुदये कौबेराजायं बलिः
Good. Sarvabhutadhipataye nama itim.
सर्वभूताधिपतये नाम इति
Nama no nama iti.
नम सर सर्वभूताधिपतये नम इति सर्वभूताधिपतये नम इति
अथ बलिगुं हृत्वोपतिष्ठेत
अथ बलिगुं हृत्वोपतिष्ठेत अथ बलिगुं हृत्वोपतिष्ठेत
ॐ यदि बलिगुं हरेत् हिरण्यनाभये वितुदये कौबेरायायं बलिः सर्वभूताधिपतये नम इति अथ बलिगुं हृत्वोपतिष्ठेताम्
यदि बलिगुं हरेत् हिरण्यनाभये वितुदये कौबेरायायं बलिः सर्वभूताधिपतये नम इति अथ बलिगुं हृत्वोपतिष्ठेत
यदि balim haret, yadi, if balim, bali, or the oblations, haret, one were to offer, then one should recite this following mantra. See, then there is no force. If you wish to offer an oblation, then offer this oblation to the one who is golden-naveled Hiranyanabhaye, Vitudaye, the fearful striker, Kauberaya, to that, the one that is called Kubera. I am this, Balihi is the tribute. I am Balihi, Kauberaya. I am Balihi, Kauberaya, I am Balihi. This Bali is then offered to Hiranyanabha, Vitudaya, Kauberaya. And then iti, thus, that mantra that is spoken is offered to who Sarvabhutadhipataye nama. So there are three things: Hiranyanabha, Vituda, Kauberaya, Sarvabhutadhipataye. All these are uttered, and then this Bali is offered, and then Atha Balim Hritvopatishtheta. Thereafter, Atha means thereafter, Balim Hritva, having offered the tribute, Upatistheta. Upatistheta means you stand up in the worship and offer your reverence. That is the meaning of those 4 lines. What does it say in essence? If one has to make a physical offering, one should say to the Hiranyanabha, to the Vituda, Kuberaya, and salutations to the Lord of all beings. Thus saying, and having made the offering, one should stand up in the worship. That is the meaning of it. Ritual, no? They're describing the kalpa. So as described in the previous one, kalpa, kalpota urdhvam. Now we have entered into the kalpa, the ritual of actions. So the attendants of Kubera is the way it is interpreted by one thing called Kauberayaya, means the one those belong to Kubera, which also means Hiranyanabha, means one who is adorned with all kinds of ornaments, Hiranyanabha. Vitudaye. So this all this Karmakanda is the Upatistheta. So this is very simple. It's a ritual process. You offer saying those names, and the one who is adorned with Hiranyanabha, Hiranya, and once this is offered, Kauberaya, Vaishravana, here there is no Vaishravana reference, right? Kauberaya, yeah, that's it. No reference to Vaishravana here. So one interpretation is all these that belong to Kubera, you offer this Bali, the Lord of all the beings, Sarva Bhuta Dhipataye Namaha iti, and then you stand up in the ritual. Kshatram Vaishravanaha. Oh, now it came Vaishravana. Kshatram Vaishravanaha.
Kshatram Vaishravanaha. Kshatram Vaishravanaha.
Brahmana Vayagum Smaha.
Brahmana Vayagum Smaha. Brahmana Vayagum Smaha.
Namaste Astu Mamahi Gumsihe.
Namaste Astu Mamahi Gumsihi. Namaste Astu Mamahi Gumsihi.
Asmat Pravishyanna Madhiti.
Asmat Pravishanna Madhiti.
Pravishyanna.
Asmat Pravishanna Madhiti. Asmat Pravishanna Madhiti.
Okay, let's chant those three words.
Uncle, sorry, I was distracted. Is Vayagusmaha? It should be
Vayagusmaha.
Vayagusmaha.
Did I say Vayagum? Did I say
I
Vayagum?
think so. I think I was a bit confused.
Vayagusmaha. Yeah, Vayagusmaha. Om Kshatrang Vaishravanaham.
Om Kshatrang Vaishravanaha. Kshatrang Vaishravanaha.
Very good. See, if those markings are not there, then you won't chant with that clarity. You go to another script book like that, they won't say it has to be before the first cha. It is not written down like this. There is no, that's why he's see, when he's chanting or even repeating, he's using that same pronunciation aspects. Why I should use this app? Why nobody is forcing you to use this. If you want to learn properly, paying attention to all the details, then this script is amazingly useful. See, the first anuswaram is the second anuswaram is o. So if you did not mark those things, then what the people say, Kshatram, Kshatram Vai Shravanaka. That's how they chant, most of them. Go listen to the chanting of Aruda Prasad. Kshatram, Kshatram Vai Shravanaka. It is incorrect. Kshatram, Kshatram Vai Shravanaka.
Kshatrang kshatrau vai Shravanah. Kshatrang kshatrau vai Shravanah.
Brahmana Vayagasmaha.
Brahmana vayagas. Is it?
Vayagasmaha.
Okay. Brahmana vayagasmaha. Brahmana vayagasmaha.
Namaste astu mamahi gumsehe.
Namaste astu mamahi gumsihi. Namaste astu mamahi gumsihi.
Asmat pravishyannamadhiti.
Asmat pravishyannam.
Correct.
Asmat pravishyannamdhiti. Asmat pravishyannamdhiti. Asmat pravishyannamdhiti.
What la? Okay. Om Kshatrang Kshatrang Vai Shravanaha. Brahmana Vayagasmaha. Namaste astu mamahi gumsehi. Asmat pravishyannamadhiti.
Kshatrang kshatrau vai Shravanah. Brahmana vayagasmaha. Namaste astu mamahi gumsihi. Asmat pravishyannamdhiti.
Kshatram, the word Kshatram means supreme protective power. That supreme protective power repeated 2 times, the ultimate is Vaishravana, the Kubera. Vayam, we, Smaha, are Brahmanah, the seekers of the Brahman. Namaha, salutations, astu, be to you. Ma, the second, the ma with swaritam is do not. Ma means as, himsi, harm, cause any harm. Pravishya, having entered, asmat, our place or this altar. Adhi, consume. Annam, the oblations. Iti, and that is the end of the mantra. Once you stand up, And then you are offering this mantra in the ritual process. So in essence, the mantra is saying Vaishravana is the supreme sovereign power, and we are the seekers of the Brahman. So Vaishravana is the supreme ruler. Again, Independence Day. Hello, independence. Independence. The ruler. What does the ruler have to do? Only one duty. Swastif prajabhyah paripalayan. What the ruler has to do? What is his protective power for? To protect those that seek the Brahman. They are the Brahmana. Go Brahmane bhyashvamastu nityam. To protect the ones that are seeking the Brahman is how the supreme sovereignty, the protective power of this Vaishravana has to be used. That is what he will use his power for. See, when Hiranyakashipu was causing such atrocity, and his atrocity was so unbearable, and when all the gods went to Mahavishnu and asked, please save us from this guy, how long do we have to tolerate? When will you incarnate to destroy this guy? Go check out Bhagavatam, what Vishnu has said. Come back and tell me tomorrow. So this Kshatram Vaishravanaha, and what is it used for? This Ksha-tra. Tra means protection. Kshatriya, the one that protects that space, that place. That is the meaning of Kshatriya. Kshetra is the field. Kshatriya is the one that protects that field. What is that field? The field where the seekers of Brahman are protected, and may he also cause no harm in the context of that protection. See what happens? When you are protecting, if you go rage a war against somebody, lot of innocent people are killed, isn't it? Not just the wicked people, along with them, all the innocent people are killed. And you could be one of those innocent people that could be inadvertently killed in this protection. Therefore, do not hurt us. Kill only those that are against the Brahman. Eliminate those that are enemies of seekers of Brahman. Asmat pravishyanna madhiti. See, beautiful prayer this is. Do not harm. See this Mama Higumsi. Where does it come? Mama Higumsi. Hello.
Chamakam, end of the Chamakam in the Shanti mantra.
They just practiced it last week. That's why. Prudhivi Matar Mama Higumsi. Idade Bahur Manur Yajnanir Brihaspati Rutthamadani Segum Shishad Vishve Deva Sukta Vachaha. Prithvi Matar Mama Higumsi. And this Mama Higumsi, the first Ma is flat, second Ma is Svaritam. Mama Higumsi. Same will repeat also in end of Shanti Mantra, in the end of Chamakam, Shanti Mantra. The first Ma is us. Second Ma with Svaritam means do not. If you do not know the difference, you will chant different Mas in different way. The meaning will reverse. Ma that is Anudattam, Ma that is Udattam, Ma that is Svaritam, that means the low, the bass, and the high note have different meanings. So how you apply the Swara, the meaning of the mantra will change, and then you can be completely destroyed. because you are asking something opposite of what is intended. Therefore, this iti means at the end of that mantra, it is saying that is the conclusion of that mantra. It is asmat pravishyanna madhiti. How God enters you, asmat pravishyanna madhiti. What that literally means, asmat pravishya annam adhi iti pravishya, enter into my place as what? Annam adhi, what I am consuming. How God enters into you? Hello, Sairam. How is God entering into you and sustained into you? Through what you consume. Now if you understand what you consume, what is it that you are consuming? You are consuming food. You are consuming through ears. You are consuming through eyes. So whatever you are consuming through your karanas, then what will you do? You want to make sure that whatever you eat is divine, whatever you see is divine, whatever you speak is divine, whatever you listen to is divine. That's how God enters into you. And once this food is partaken into you, what will happen to that food? That food is now digested and absorbed and becomes one with you. Into your own blood it will flow. So how has God entered through you? Through what you have consumed, God has entered into your system, so that in return, what you speak is divine, what you see is divine, what you smell is divine, what you hear is divine, what you feel is divine, what you think is divine. Asmat pravishyanna madhi iti. See, now like this, brothers and sisters, you have to train your mind to seek what is present in those mantras along with doing the ritual. Atha tamagnimadadhita.
अथ तमग्निमादधीत अथ तमग्निमादधीत
Tirodha bhuh.
to the yasminne
Yasminne tat karma prayunjita.
यस्मिन्ने तत्कर्म प्रयुञ्जीत यस्मिन्ने तत्कर्म प्रयुञ्जीत
Tirodha bhuh.
तिरोधाभूः
Tirodha
तिरोधाभूः
bhuvaha.
तिरोधा
Bhuvaha.
तिरोधाभुवः
Tirodhasvaha.
तिरोधास्वः तिरोधास्वः
Tirodha bhurbhuvasvaha.
तिरोधाभूर्भुवस्वः तिरोधाभूर्भुवस्वः
Sarvesham लोकानामधिपत्ये सीदेति.
सर्वेषां लोकानामधिपत्ये सीदेति सर्वेषां लोकानामधिपत्ये सीदेति.
I am saying like that, but when you chant, it has to be Sarveshal Lokana. Sarveshal Lokanam Adhipatye Sideti.
सर्वेषां लोकानां
Not Sarveshan. Sarveshal Lokanam Adhipatye Sideti. There is a L, no?
सर्वेषां लोकानामधिपत्ये
Not Madhipatye, Madhipatye.
माधिपत्य सर्वेषां लोकानां
Sairama. Just the principle I told just a few minutes ago, there is a anuswaram with a L, no? So it has to be half L has to be said and half anuswaram. Sarveshal lokanamadhipatye sideti.
सर्वेषाल्लोकानामधिपत्ये सीदे
Adhipatye, lokanamadhipatye.
लोकानामाधिपत्ये सर्वेषाल्लोकानामाधिपत्ये सीदेति.
Are you feeling nervous because of the person behind you?
Even nervous to answer.
Okay. Don't feel such pressure, only pleasure, okay? All right. Every mistake you make, one item is subtracted from food. Okay, Sarvesh, okay, let's chant them. Om Adhatamagnima, okay. Athatamagnima
ॐ अथ तमग्निमादधीत अथ तमग्निमादधीत
Yasmin tat karma prayunjita
यस्मिन्नेतत् कर्म प्रयुञ्जीत यस्मिन्नेतत् कर्म प्रयुञ्जीत.
The next four I'll chant together so that we will save some time. Tirodha bhuh, tirodha bhuvaha, tirodha swaha, tirodha bhurbhuva swaha.
तिरोधा भूः तिरोधा भुवः तिरोधा स्वः तिरोधा भूर्भुवः स्वः तिरोधा भूः तिरोधा भुवः तिरोधा स्वः तिरोधा भूर्भुवः स्वः.
सर्वेषाल्लोकानामाधिपत्ये सीदेति.
सर्वेषाल्लोकानामाधिपत्ये सीदेति सर्वेषाल्लोकानामाधिपत्ये सीदेति.
Athat. Okay, that one is next. Look. So this mantra, yasminne. Okay, now Virodha bhuv. Atha tamagni madadhita. Yasminne tat karma prayunjita. Atha, thereafter, adadhita. One should now kindle that fire. Tam agnim adadhita. Adadhita. Thereafter, one now kindles the sacred fire. Yasmin, in which prayunjita, one is to perform etat, the following ritual, as the kalpa is now saying. What is saying, therefore, one should establish the sacred fire within which this ritual work is to be performed. That is very simple. This is all about the ritual. And then while kindling that fire, tirodhaha, that whatever is that power that is concealed inside, bhuh, at the earthly level, tirodhaha, same power, in bhuvaha, the atmospheric realm, Tirodhaha. Again, Swaha at the heavenly realm, Tirodha, Bhurbhuva Swaha, the earth, the atmosphere, and the heaven combined. These Tirodhas are now, these are what are placed in the context of the bricks and establishment of the fire. So the power of concealment as established in the earth, established in the atmosphere, established in the heaven, and the power that is placed in the earth, atmosphere, and heaven combined. Then take your seat in the absolute sovereignty over all the worlds. Sarvesham Lokanam, Sida. Sida means be seated. Utibhis Sida. Sida means be seated or established. Adhipatye, in your sovereign lordship over Sarvesham, all the lokas. Sarvesham Lokanam Adhipatye Sida iti. That is the mantra. Iti means conclusion of the mantra. There the ritual ends. That is the fundamental meaning of that. And then you kindle the fire, and then you move on to the next set of mantra. And that is Atha Tamagni Mindhita.
Atha Tamagnimindhita. Atha Tamagnimindhi. Atha Tamagnimindhita.
Yasminne tat karma prayunjita.
Yasminne tat karma prayunjita. Yasminne tat karma prayunjita.
Tirodha bhuswaha, Tirodha bhuvaswaha, Tirodha swaswaha, Tirodha bhurbhuvaswaswaha, Yasminnasya kale sarva ahutir huta bhaveyuhu.
Tirodha bhuswaha, Tirodha bhuvaswaha, Tirodha swaswaha, Tirodha bhurbhuvaswaswaha, Yasminnasya kale sarva ahutir huta bhaveyuhu.
Very simple.
Yasminnas.
Okay, let's chant them. Athatamagni mindhitam.
Athatamagnimindhita. Athatamagnimindhita.
Yasminne tat karma prayunjita.
Yasminne tat karma prayunjita. Yasminne tat karma prayunjita.
Tirodha bhuswaha, Tirodha bhuvaswaha, Tirodha swaswaha, Tirodha bhurbhuvaswaswaha, Yasminnasya kale sarva ahutir huta bhaveyuhu.
Tirodha bhuswaha, Tirodha bhuvaswaha, Tirodha swaswaha, Tirodha bhurbhuvaswaswaha, Yasminnasya kale sarva ahutir huta bhaveyuhu.
Okay, now this very simple repetition of the same. Here, what we are saying is, the first one is just placing the samithas. The second one is now putting the ahuti into the fire that is kindled with the samhitas. So, not samhitas, samithas. So, the Samitha, once they are placed as Tirodha Bhu, Tirodha Bhuva, Tirodha Swa, then you are doing the Atha Tamagnimindhita. Yasminne tat karma prayunjita. So Atha, thereafter, Indhita, one should kindle or cause the blaze. Tam, that Agnim, the sacred fire. Yasmin, in which Prayunjita, one is to perform. Etat, this karma, the ritual action. So that is the very simple meaning of it. And therefore, then what happens? Then you put Swaha for the concealment power that is in at the earthly level. Swaha. What is Swaha? What does Swaha mean? Su aha iti Swaha. That is which is that is that which is offered good in the context of that. Su, good offering, that is Swaha. Now this Swaha is offered as Tirodha Bhuh, Tirodha Bhuvaha, atmospheric realm, Tirodha Swaha, heavenly realm, and then Bhuvasva Swaha. So that is very, and then Tirodha Bhuvasva Swaha. Yasmin asya kale sarva ahutir huta bhaveyuhu. Yasmin kale, at that time when asya, his or the practitioners, sarvaha, all ahuti, daily oblations, hutah bhaveyuhu, have been offered into this fire. Api Brahmana Mukhina, that will start the next mantra will start there. So that is the kalpa. The ritual now dictates that the specific time where this is offered and how it is offered. This is all the ritual description of it. And most of you can infer what it internally means anyway. By this time you are you are tuned into this. You should be. What is Bhu, what is Bhuva, what is Swa within you, you need to connect into that. What is the Bhu, what is Bhuvaha, what is Swaha? The Bhu is gross, Bhuvaha is subtle, Swaha is causal. At gross level, at subtle level, at causal level, you are now Swaha, offering yourself as a good offering. You are invoking or placing these bricks at the gross level. Now, this is inner yajna. This is antar yajna, not the bahir yajna. While doing the inner, while doing the external Agni, you also have to invoke the fire of wisdom within you, the Jnana Agni. And for that, your gross, your subtle, your causal levels become the boundaries. Within the boundaries of those, you are invoking this sacred fire. And when you invoke this sacred fire, you offer whatever are the aspects associated at your gross level, at your subtle level, as causal level, right here and now into this fire of wisdom. And that is the Antar Yajna. The one before is Bahir Yajna. That is the, what is that? Concludes that first, the mantra number 127. Tomorrow we are getting into 128, 129. Hopefully this week, also Monday, Tuesday at 6 p.m. we'll have the 2 classes. And this week, before Shravan Shukrovaram comes, Varalakshmi Vartam, we will have completed Aruna Prashna, and then the practices will also be finished, hopefully, because how many Anuvakas we completed in practice already? 8 Anuvakas, Chandrasekhara. Huh? How many Anuvakas we completed in practice?
We completed until 34th Panchati, Anna.
Okay. So 34th Panchati, okay. So that will take us into practice sessions before we go to my SSS. Not only Aruna Prashna completed, but also practice completed for offering this at my SSS. That is the promise we made in Ujjain. He said we'll finish this before next yajna. So Ujjain yajna was done, and now 26 in 1.5 years it took to complete this. So 34 we completed. Huh? Okay,
Yeah, 8
until
Anuvakas.
34, 8 Anuvakas. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Completed 8 Anuvakas. We'll get to 9th Anuvaka. Okay, Jai Sai Ram. Okay, please chant Yadaksharapada Bhrashtam Shama.
ॐ श्री साईश्वराय नमः हरिः ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Uncle, who are they referring to? The golden navel, or what's the significance of the golden navel person being?
That is a Vaishravana, Kubera. He is a lord of wealth. He has all the gold over him. Yeah.
Okay, Kubera.
All of that is called Vaishravana Yajna. This Yajna is a Vaishravana Yajna. The later part, the Yajna associated with the Abhishtakas is over. The water parts is over. Now this is the Yajna for Vaishravana. Yeah. That's what is being described in these mantras.
Thanks, Uncle. Thank you.
Yes. Next. I know you're all getting tired because now once I see that Sharmagaru is not asking any questions, he is just waiting for this to be over and then be done with it.
Not like that, sir. I'm still trying to understand and assimilate more on these particular things, and it is really very deep. So, in order to ask question myself, I have to understand thoroughly before I put a question to you. That's why I was just contemplating.
That will never happen, sir. You trying to understand it thoroughly and ask a question. Okay. Yes. Okay. What was the homework that you have to do? Satish Damaraj, what's the homework I gave? Gone with the wind. He did not even pay attention to what homework I gave. Huh?
I don't remember. Sorry.
You do, okay. Who remembers the homework?
I know we have to check the. Okay, lots of people unmuted. So, check the Bhagavatam for something. I can't remember what.
Oh, what's the homework, Sita? What's the homework? Yes.
About Hiranyakashipu, when Devatas went to Vishnu, his response, what did they ask? What was his response?
That's the question. You already know the answer?
He asked them to wait some time because he was given the bones by Brahman. They have to I think they have to be diluted before he gets killed. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
You're just making it up. Yeah, okay. Okay. You all listen to these Puranas. Bhakta Prahalada movie you watched 15,000 times. Nothing got into the head. Very nice songs, very beautiful. Do you know that Bhakta Prahalada entire script was written by Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba? Movie, the Telugu movie. Sairam. That is what happens with the Purana Shravana. And if you ask the question, why Shravana means listening, why Shravana means why am I listening? Kuberaya Vaishravanaya Maharajaya Namaka. Shravana means listening. Vaishravana, so how many times the word Vaishravana came? Huh? None of you asked the question, what is the inner meaning of Vaishravana? Now, when they chant that mantra in Mantra Pushpa, say, Kuberaya Vaishravanaya, they chant like that. Huh? Kuberaya Vaishravanaya. No, that is like Ramuni Toka, Pivarunditlaniye. That is how they chant these mantras, all these priests. Because they have no understanding or appreciation of what the word Vaishravana means. Why are we doing this yajna to this Kubera, the Vaishravana? Do the homework. Don't ask Chat GPT. Ask Enchanted GPT. God present timelessly, GPT. God present timeless. Not chat, God present timeless. Enchant, God present timeless. Enchant, God present timeless. That is the essence of the meaning of the word Vaishravana. Why you are offering all of this yajna to this Vaishravana? What is the point of all of this? So that you get freedom from what is already concealed within Tirodha. Tirodha, concealed. What is concealed at gross level, what is concealed at the causal level, what is the concealed at the subtle level, opening this up. How do you open this up? Yachandasa mrishabho vishwarupaka chandobhyodamruta asambabhuva samendro medhaya asprunotu amrutasya devadharano bhuyasam shariram me vicharshanam jihva me madhumattama karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam brahmanah koshoshi medhaya pihitah shrutam me gopaya. What did you chant this mantra before? The Shanti mantra chanted before?
Medha Sukta.
What does it mean? Now that you opened the mic, what is the meaning of that Yachandasa Mrishabho Vishwarupaha?
Yaha Chandasa Amruta.
అరే ఇప్పుడు ఫిగర్ అవుట్ చేసి రాదరా బాబు, అది ముందే ఉండాలి.
ముందు లేదు, పాడేయడమే, కొట్టేయడమే.
ఓకే. What is the supreme amongst all the sounds?
Om.
Said, very good. So once you invoke that Om, what happens? Once you invoke that Om, all the divine powers within you will get awakened. Chandasam, Vrishabho, Vishwarupaha, Chandobhyaha,
Amruta.
Sambabhuva. Immortality, the divine immortality will blossom within you. Saha Indraha, may that supreme witness consciousness, that is the Omkaram. This is the reason why you say Om in front of every mantra. Without saying that Om, the mantra will not get the immortality and the divine power invoked from within. Why I'm giving you the inner meaning of what this Vaishravana business is, which I did not explain during the Vaishravana. All these mantras that we have chanted with respect to Vaishravana, very beautiful mantras. They are all filled with symbolism of invoking that which you have to listen constantly resonating within you and in the entire universe outside of you. And that is what is called Vaishravana. Twastream Mayam Vaishravanaha Radhaha Radham Sahasravandhuram Purushchakra Sahasra. This is an amazing symbolism associated with it. I just went through that so quickly, just explaining to you superficially what these mantras are carrying, because my objective is to complete this Aruna Prashna this week. You have to now go catch onto this, latch onto this and say, what are these mantras saying? How beautifully that Mahagirav, Sudarshane, Chakraunche, Mainage, Mahagirav, how they are related to the Mahavakyas, Mahagirav, Mahavakyas, the supreme statements of Aham Brahmasmi, Ayamatma Brahma, Tattvamasi. The fourth one is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. What is the fourth one that most people commonly? Sharmagar, what is the fourth one? Meeranta Vedantam scholars, sir. You have been listening to Vedantam for.
I am not Vedantam scholar, sir. I am an ordinary person like any other.
No, but I can see that you listen to all these Puranas and all this stuff because you are connected to it. No.
Yeah, I listen
That's
to
what
Purana.
I'm not saying it fictitiously. I'm complimenting it. So what are the four Mahavakyas? The four supreme statements, Mahagirav.
Well, I am unable to. What is it?
Nobody knows the four Mahavakya.
Prajnanam
Supreme
Brahma.
state.
Aham Brahmasmi,
Brahma.
Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, I am Atma.
Yeah. Out of that, what is the one that we did? The three that were mentioned, Sudarshanecha, Kraunchecha, Mainagecha, these are embedded with three Mahagirav. Prajnanam Brahma is the fire itself, therefore it is not invoked. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, these are interchangeable. But I'm now giving you back, going back to the mantras that we studied today, and to say that this ritual that you are doing outside, you are never doing this ritual with Aruna Prashna all the time, but you do only Parayana of Aruna Prashna. 99% of the people do only Parayana, chanting of Aruna Prashna, not the actual yajna. But the moment you connect to these mantras, and this body is doing that chanting, it is doing this Antar Yajna. And that Antar Yajna done with chanting of this Aruna Prashna is infinitely more powerful than this Bahir Yajna. Antar Mukha Samarajya, Bahir Mukha Sudurlabha. So you have to do Antar Mukha Yajna. Api Brahmana Mukhinah. That is the next mantra. That is what it is. Brahmana Mukhinah. Jai Sai Ram. Okay, there are no questions. We'll close and meet tomorrow to continue this from the mantra 128. Jai Sai Ram.
Sairam.
Om. Yes. Somebody.
Why it is called Sundarakanda? Briefly, please.
Why it is called Sundarakanda? Why it is called Sundarakanda? In Ramayana, every kanda is named after Rama's life cycle. Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda. The chapters are named after Yuddha Kanda, Kishkindha Kanda, Uttarakanda. All those are named after Rama's life because it is Ramayanam. There is only one Kanda that is not named after Rama's life cycle. That is Sundarakanda. Why is it called Sundarakanda? What does the word Sundarakanda mean?
The meaning I
The
know
word,
it's just
what does
beauty
the
of
word
devotion. Sorry.
beauty? Sundaram means beauty.
Mm.
But actually, if you look at that Kanda, there is nothing beautiful. What is beautiful? Is Mother Sita sitting in the Ashokavanam crying? Is that beautiful? Is Rama sitting in the forest and trying to search for Sita? Is that beautiful? Is Ravana going and talking nonsense to Mother Sita beautiful? None of that is beautiful. It's actually very sad. Then why is it named Sundarakanda? This is what the questions that this body asks Bhagavan. Because it doesn't want to accept anything at its face value. One time what happened was in Rockford, Illinois, they called me for a satsang. And the first time I went there, Bhagavan inspired me to share with them what is called inner Ramayana. And that inner Ramayana for 2.5, 3 hours, I was describing to them every bit of Ramayana, how it is related to our inside, of course, everything based on Bhagavan's teachings only, nothing self-made. And the next year, there were a lot of non-Sai devotees, especially from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, in that satsang. 2 days before the next year, they called me for the satsang, and this gentleman says, Re Shekhar Bhai, a lot of people are from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. They all love Tulsi Das and all the Ramayana, Tulsi Das, Ramayana, everything. This year, they want you to talk about Sundarakanda. And then I was like, this was the day after was my flight to go to Chicago. I was sitting in the flight. I had no idea because I never did Sundarakanda Parayana. And I was like wondering, where did Swami describe about Sundarakanda Parayana also? Not in detail. I closed my eyes and I was like praying so intensely to Swami. Swami, these devotees, you have to take care of them. I don't know what to tell them. Now you have to give me this essence of inner Sundarakanda. And the next 3.5 hours of flight was like just a Netflix download of a movie, closing the eyes and Sat Sai Baba showing everything about Sundarakanda, the inner significance of Sundarakanda. The first question I asked him is, what is so beautiful about Mother Sita crying? What is so beautiful about Rama crying? This is the question I was asking. And then Bhagavan very beautifully said, the name given to Hanuman by his parents was Sundara. Hanuman's original name is Sundara. And therefore, Valmiki named it after his name, Sundara. Therefore, this is all about Hanuman. Nothing to do with Rama and Sita. It is all the glory of Hanuman. And that's why it is called Sundarakanda. That's how it started. And then the whole thing, right? Every bit of Hanuman getting up onto that mountain and launching himself into the sky, all the way to returning back. It was a beautiful movie of inner Sundarakanda. And then how Bhagavan described why he is named as Sundara is because Satyam is Rama, Shivam is Sita, Sundaram is Hanuman. Therefore, Ramayanam is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. This kind of explanation you won't find. Ramayanam is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. And then he also very beautifully described how this Hanuman plays in the context of uniting the Satyam and Shivam. How he said that Satyam is Sat, Shivam is Chit, beauty is Sundaram, bliss is Sundaram. So Rama is Sat, Sita is Chit, bliss is a Hanuman, Sundaram. Now if I can go for the next 1 hour about this, I will And then he said, how beautifully he said, entire Ramayana described very beautifully. There is this 10-headed Ravana that is sitting inside you. And this 10-headed Ravana is the 10 vices. Every time one of those vices attack you, it will confiscate awareness from presence. So you will lose presence because awareness is gone. You will lose awareness because presence is separated from it. So if awareness is Sita, presence is Rama, and when this Ravana came, like anger or whatever it is, and it confiscated the awareness away from the presence. And then he said, if you get angry, what you have to do? And then he said, take a deep breath. Then your awareness will unite with the presence. And that deep breath is Vayuputra, the Hanuman. And therefore, when you take a deep breath, presence and awareness are united. And that is what is so beautiful about this Sundarakanda. That is the essence of Ramayana. And of course, there are a lot of details within Sundarakanda. Anyway, it happened. So I went to Chicago, and a lot of kids were there in the satsang. And then these kids, everywhere I go, these kids get used to this. They get so much engaged. And one kid asked the question, Uncle, what is the inner meaning of Bajrangabali? What is the inner meaning of Bajrangabali? And you know what I have to tell him? I was like looking at the question. I said, I don't know myself. I don't know what is the inner meaning of Bajrangabali myself. This is before the Sundarakanda Satsang started. And this fellow is asking, what is the inner meaning of Bajrangabali? Huh? And then I said, I don't know. Let us do this. Let us chant 100 times, Jai Bajrangabali, Jai Bajrangabali. And then after 108 times, maybe Swami will show us what is the inner meaning of. Everybody was chanting, Jai Bajrangabali, Jai Bajrangabali, Jai Bajrangabali. And then suddenly this Bhagavan beautifully opens up and says, it is actually not Bajrangabali, it is Vajra Anga Bali in Sanskritam. Vajra means diamond, Anga means limbs, Bali means the one who has the strength of the limbs as strong as a diamond. So Biharis, for them, Vajra becomes Bajra. Okay. Because Vakara for Bengalis and Biharis in this thing, this is so. Anyway, somebody asked me recently, the next thing you should do is Sundarakanda or something like that. Maybe Swami is prompting this session to indicate Sundarakanda is the next incredible sadhana. And that sadhana is, it is Sundaram, because most beautifully Bhagavan said, when you work in the mission of God unconditionally, without any selfishness whatsoever, and the only purpose of your life is the mission of Bhagavan, then you become a Sundaram, the most beautiful person on the face of this earth, because serving the Lord is the most beautiful thing on this earth. And Hanuman is an epitome of serving the Lord, and therefore his parents named him as Sundaram. Jai Sai Ram. स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी।